It is Friday, May 29th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by T-Mobile. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. And everybody grab your cup of coffee. Just be careful. What happened to you?
I had a really terrible cup of coffee that I made in my room. I feel like room coffee is just always disgusting, and this particular hotel has bad coffee. And I swiped it. It went all over my keyboard, my mouse, all over my beautiful Lord of the Rings mouse pad. But here we are, Chris. You know, we play through things on this show.
E5, as I like
to say.
It
was E5. I kept my head up, though. Amnesia, forgot about it already. Let's go.
Okay, good. By the way, you are in a Pittsburgh hotel room. You look like you're in a recording studio. It's bizarre.
Oh, this hotel, I don't mean to talk smack. This is just it's not it.
Okay.
This is not a very show.
Let's get to more important stuff that'll cheer you up.
Okay.
Labor talk.
Yeah.
Yes, here we go. It happened. The league proposed a hard cap in its return of serve to a player union's initial proposal from Wednesday. Payroll would cap it to just over 245 mil. There would be a floor around 171 million. Revenue would be split 50-50. The owners proposed that the teams will share local TV revenue. That is also a big, big step. Is this just the starting point for both sides? We know that it is, but should fans feel good about anything that they've heard over the last 48 hours from either side?
Well, yeah, it's the first step. Like, none of these proposals are going to be what ends up happening. It's just the bottom line. I don't think you should be super stoked that they did actually come out and propose a salary cap. That's the first time they've done that since 94, correct?
It is.
So, like, there's that. You don't have to love that, but we knew that was going to happen. I guess my question to that is, and I really am, I'm doing my best to be impartial here. Like, obviously I have a player's background, and that's where like a lot of my knowledge of this stuff comes from. But you know, as I'm away from the game more and more, I just want what's good for the game, essentially. My question is, the $170 million floor, aren't there teams that are spending $50 million right now and complaining about it? They're supposed to just find another $120 million.
Right. So I think that's a really, really good question as to how we get there. And it's not $50 million. It's a little bit more, but not significantly more than that number. But you're right. There's a dozen teams as of right now that would have to jump up significantly. Some teams would have to add $95 million in payroll. Now, there is one little thing about this. Each team will pay about $23 million in player benefits, according to this initial owner's proposal, which means that not all of that goes to player payroll. That counts as some of the salary cap as well. So there's a lot of reading between the lines and all of this sort of stuff. And it can be very confusing. It can be very daunting for us baseball fans that even might have a background in labor negotiations. I suggest reading Jeff Passan's article from Friday on ESPN. It's unlocked. It's there for everybody to consume, and it kind of gives you the broader strokes of where we are.
Yeah, look, again, I've been on the road doing this. I haven't really dug deep. Number one, I haven't had time. Number two, I'm not ready. Like, these proposals are nothing to me right now. It's the first set. It's gonna change so much. Do I think there ends up being a salary cap? I do not.
Right. So, the question is, how much would splitting the local TV revenue help those other teams boost their payroll? I mean, I would imagine, obviously, it would be substantial to some degree. Here's the thing, the way I'm looking at it, and I don't know if people want to feel this way or not. You're going to hear a lot of rhetoric out of both sides over the next several months until we eventually have a lockout. And I say eventually I have a lockout, and people go doom and gloom. Yeah, because I don't trust either side. You are going to hear, well, we want what's best for baseball. You're going to hear the owners say, we want competitive balance, and that's what fans should want. And the only way to do that is with a hard cap. And you're going to hear players say, well, hold on here. You've got teams like Cleveland and Tampa Bay and Milwaukee that they spend their bottom feeders when it comes to how much money they spend, and they're at the top of their standings in their respective divisions. So how bad could it really be? Yes, you're still going to have high-priced teams like the Mets that look like they're idiots because they don't know how to properly spend their money. But on the other side, people say, well, the Dodgers are spending goo gobs of money and they've won the last 2 World Series. So what you're going to hear is from both sides make the slant best toward their proposal. And at the end of the day, you know what? They might want what's best for the fans a little bit. They want what's best for their side. And that's okay. I wish they would just come out and say, I wish the owners would come out and say, we want to improve the value of our franchises. And we want it. The best way to do that is to cap players' salary. And I wish the players would come out and say, listen, our union for decades has fought to not have a salary cap. And so we're going to continue that fight. You don't have to come out and say, well, we want what's best for baseball. Because at the end of the day, maybe you do want for what's best for baseball, but you want what's best for your side. Just tell me. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
I agree. It's a little too early to be really getting into all this stuff. It just I'm like pushing it a lot to the side because I understand there is just so much more back and forth that we're gonna have to talk about. And then eventually when the season ends, we'll really have to get into it. And I agree with you, there will be a lockout. That just means that they're not gonna be able to come to an agreement before December 3rd or whatever it is. I'm still gonna hold true to my statement that I just don't think we're gonna miss games. It's I've been listening. I've heard, from Major League Baseball and like their higher ups talking about the game right now, and it's so good for them right now. Like they're
Yes.
kind of like giving their hand out in all these auxiliary interviews that have nothing to do with the labor negotiations. Like things are good. Things are good for both sides. Like let's just get this. You know what would make me so happy if we didn't have a lockout and we really just took
Sure.
the next 6 months and actually got a deal done.
Yeah,
Things are good. Let's do it.
but that just doesn't happen in this sport. It comes down to the very end because that's when people start to panic and give, right? You're not going to give in May.
What's
You're just
interesting,
not.
Chris, is the truth is that I think that both sides are fragmented within their own circle.
Mhm.
The last CBA, we saw the players vote differently than the actual voting committee, the executive committee. I think the ownership is definitely
Oh,
fragmented right
definitely.
now. That they don't. Do
Absolutely.
you think these top teams want to share their TV revenue? No, they don't
Mm.
want to. They like their advantage they have. The bottom teams, asking for all this, like they're both sides. I think are a little bit fragmented here. I think this is going to be less like people have billed this as this heavyweight. Like this is going to get so bad. I don't see it.
And as somebody who covered the day that the strike came in '94, I can tell you, like, that's it's scarring. It was scarring for a lot of people to hear then acting commissioner Bud Selig say, "We're not having a World Series." Like, think about how bad it got to the point where you can't even finish a season. Now, I do think if I had to make a prediction, I think we're gonna be late starting next year. I don't know how many games that'll cost us because you do need some spring training. You're going to need 3 to 4 weeks minimum, and then you're gonna start the season where the rosters are gonna be expanded. It's gonna be like September because they don't wanna injure arms. And by the way, they are gonna end up injuring guys. It's just gonna That's how I think it's gonna play out because I don't trust either side to be able to sit down and negotiate, and I hate to feel that way. I really do. And I even really hate discussing it at the end of May. So I think I'd like to move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, good. I would like to know where people are with their I'm just I really am curious because there will be more proposals that are made, and this is the first real time we're talking about it because both sides made it within a 24-hour period. And so I felt like it was important for us to discuss this topic. I am curious to hear from you guys in the comments how much you care at this point about the labor negotiations if and when there are more proposals made throughout the season. I'm curious because we will take that into account about what you want to hear and what you don't. I think it's important. All right. So the two of us are fortunate enough to go to a bunch of different stadiums throughout the years, right? I cover them for dugout discussions. Plouffe is on a 3-city trip. He's already been through Boston and the south side of Chicago, and this weekend he's in Pittsburgh. And the one thing that we universally see is the amount of John Boy Media merch that's in the crowd. And you know what? That is Shopify at work. When we Design a product around a baseball moment. Shopify connects us directly to our manufacturer, so orders flow out on time, lands with fans wherever they are. There's no bottlenecks, there's no delays, and Shop Pay removes the friction at checkout. So the fan who finds the product actually follows through on the purchase. That combination of reach and conversion is what makes this whole thing work. So start your free trial at shopify.com/today. Let's go. Let's go get you geared up. You'll feel good. I promise. All right. Quite a way for the Braves to finish their trip through Boston, which was their original home, the Boston Braves. Michael Harris, the second with a home run on the 4-year anniversary of his arrival in the show. Congrats to him. Former Red Sox World Series champion Chris Sale. He wasn't at his best, but he was still solid through 5 innings, had 8 strikeouts, and it was a former league MVP with a grand performance of his own.
Ronald Acuna Jr. with a grand slam over the monster.
My goodness. I mean, think of how well the Braves have played, and they've done virtually nothing with Ronald Acuna. I mean, and you could see it. He kissed the bat afterward. Did you ever kiss your bat?
I don't know. Probably. I've done a lot of things to my bat. Some I'm proud of, some I'm not, Chris. Yeah.
I did when I was in Reno. Right now, they're the Reno Aces, I think the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. When I was there in the 90s, they were the Reno Chuckers, an independent league team. And I found some guy who admitted to sleeping with his bat.
Oh,
Sleeping.
yeah.
Guys do that.
I think Juan Soto had a story about doing that not
Hmm.
too long ago. Yeah, no, you do all sorts of things to your bat. I'd bathe my bats from time to time. I would bring him to chapel.
Whoa. Did you say bathe your bat?
Yeah. So, if you know, if you foul balls off, they leave a little mark, a little white mark. Some of that leather comes off on your bat. You can take a adhesive remover and kind of get it on a cotton swab and just like wipe off all those marks. And a lot of times I would just wipe off the marks that were like towards the label and the end of the bat. I would keep my marks on the barrel of the bat. And that made me feel like, okay, you don't want to see the bad marks on the bat. So I'd bathe my bats. Yeah.
You made it sound like you showered with the bats.
Well, you wouldn't want to do that, Chris. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's true. Let's see here. Producer Dan just put in our chat. Apparently, Juan Soto slept with his bat in bed when he was playing in Double-A to help get his swing right and build muscle memory.
Okay.
Interesting. So the Braves, we talked a lot about the Braves. I want to focus a bit more on the Red Sox, who obviously went through a managerial change about a month ago, and things have not really gotten better. What do you think is more frustrating for Boston fans? Getting virtually nothing for a guy like Sale and seeing him continue to dominate in his late 30s, or just the overall way that the Red Sox have played this season?
Wow. I mean, those are two very, very frustrating things because you can add on to Sale, you can add on to basically Rafael Devers, basically Mookie Betts. Like they've done very poorly in all these trades. And they're seeing all these guys have success other ways. Don't look at Kyle Harrison's stats if you're a Red Sox fan. I mean, obviously Chris Sale. There's a lot of guys that you can point to. Did they also have David Sandlin at one point?
Oh, they might have.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to look
Well, I
that up.
just saw him dominate. Yeah, so I think overall that's the part they're more disappointed in. Just the returns for these trades of some really good players have not turned into anything. And you're looking it up, and
Yes, he was drafted by the Royals in the 11th round, traded to Boston for Schreiber, and then traded by the Red Sox right before spring training this year.
for Hicks, right?
With Hicks
With
to the
Hicks,
White Sox for a player to be named later, Gage Zeal, who I believe is in the minors.
Yeah,
apologize
so
if I mispronounced your name.
I just read up on this. Getz took on Hicks' salary after the Luis Robert dump in order to get Sandlin, essentially.
Wow.
So I think that's the main point. I think that Boston is probably more upset about all of those trades not working in their favor. The play at home has also been abysmal. It's actually like shocking how bad it's been. The defense has been bad. Yeah, I just saw them play at home, and it was terrible. They had a chance to win all 3 games. They lost all 3 games. But I think overall, though, they're more upset about, like, these trades that have gone awry.
And I think they're confused as to which young guys are going to be really good. I mean, Roman Anthony has been dinged up all season. It seems like he isn't close to returning. I heard he was swinging the bat the other day and still felt a tremendous amount of pain. So, like, that could be a problem. But Marcelo Meyer has not been good at all, right? Campbell, they gave all that money to, and he can't even really play at the major league level yet. So I think that Red Sox fans, they were like, well, we got to hug on to these prospects and keep all these guys, and we'll get rid of the proven dudes. Very little has gone right. Wilson Contreras has been great this year. I mean, a tremendous player. He's putting up all-star-ish numbers. But Caleb Durbin has been terrible. Trevor Story is now banged up, just had surgery, and he was pathetic as well. Jarren Duran has finally started to heat up, the last couple weeks, but it's been kind of a lost season for him. You're right about I think the problem is how bad they have been at home. 9-19. They are averaging just over 3 runs per game at Fenway. They are on pace to have the 3rd worst home winning percentage in franchise history, only behind the 1932 and 1926 Red Sox. I mean, you're supposed to go into there, and you played enough games to know what a huge advantage that place can be.
It should be for them big time. I think they're 1-7-1 in series at home this year, which is tough. Yeah, I mean, I got to see, like, Connor Wong not running on a ball that was either going to be a homer or off the wall. Like, this is stuff. These are the advantages you should have as a player with the Red Sox. You know what the monster does. They have an outfield out there that is very difficult to play. Not just the monster, the center field and right field. Like, there's all these nooks and crannies there. They should have big time advantage as far as, like, knowing how the field plays. It just hasn't worked that way this year for them.
Did you ever play left field there?
I might have. I don't to my knowledge, no, but I might have snuck over there at one point.
Come on, that one you'd remember. There's a
You
big
know, I
tall
don't. Yeah,
wall.
I don't think I did. I banged the ball off that thing a couple times and over it, but
Hell yes. Hell
yeah,
yes.
no, they're a disappointing watch right now because they're. I think I like the starting pitching, like between, like, Sonny Gray, who's been great since he came back, Suarez early, and Toley, I was really impressed with. Like, they have starting pitching, and, like, even the back end, like, the bullpen has good arms, and, Chapman's been fantastic for them, and there's a couple guys that you can kind of count on there. But the offense has been non-existent. The bottom half of their lineup is bad.
And Crochet, they think, is starting to kind of crawl back to existence.
Forget about Crochet. There's a chance, Chris. Like, if Sonny Gray has ever hurt, like, they'd be all lefty.
Huh.
Right? Toley, early, Suarez,
Crochet.
and yeah, it's interesting.
They're only 4 games out of the wild card. I know they're 9 games under 500,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't think it's over for them. It sure feels that way. I don't know. Let us know. Maybe it is. But it has been a terrible watch. Speaking of watch, it's time right now to preview tonight's games presented by Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. And we got a good one, the late one. It'll be the Phillies out in L.A. for the first time since the now 2-time defending champions eliminated Philadelphia. We all remember what happened with Ryan Kerkering and the terrible throw, and that was the walk-off to end the series. He bobbled it. He could have just thrown to first. There were 2 outs. He could have thrown to first to get Pages. It hurts me to even see that video.
It does. I mean, I remember watching it very vividly and the audible gasp that happened around the room.
Do you think so? Now Kerkering goes back. How could he not be haunted when he gets off the bus today?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna get brought back up in his mind. He's probably done a good job of suppressing it, but then he gets back to the scene of the crime, and he'll be thinking about it.
What are you most looking forward to in this series between these teams?
I honestly want to see the Phillies go and take this series. I want to see them continue to kind of get back under Don Mattingly. They made some lineup adjustments. They flip-flopped Schwarber and Trey Turner. So I want to see Trey kind of get hot. I want to see their pitching continue to do it. Like we know that the Dodgers are going to be there, and I respect that team. And I just talked a ton about Andy Pajes on Talking Baseball and how freaking good he's been. So like they're going to be there. I want the Phillies to go and get some or continue to have their momentum into the rest of the season, and kind of, because right now, as if we started the playoffs right now, they'd still be on the outside looking in. As well as they've played, they still would not be in a playoff position right now. So I want the Phillies to be there. I believe in them. They've been like my team for the last like 4 years, and it really hasn't worked out.
I'm looking forward to Saturday's game. I don't want to hit the fast forward button too much. First of all, I'm a little ticked off that we just missed Ohtani against Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez, who's 6'6", by the way. Shame on me yesterday. We were talking about how great Christopher Sanchez has been. And I said, you look at some of the other guys, and I think part of the reason is that he's not physically imposing like a Jacob Mizorowski, who's almost 6'8", a Paul Skeens, who's 6'6", 260. And people are like, well, Sanchez is 6'6". Yes, he is. So that's my fault. But you don't look at him and you don't think, oh, my God, look at Christopher Sanchez.
Well, you think of that when you think about Jacob Mizorowski? That guy would get blow over on the wind.
Except that he throws 103. That was kind of my point. Either a guy is physically imposing or he throws 103.
Okay.
That was my point. But I was factually wrong. Although I am curious. I want to stand next to Christopher Sanchez tomorrow. I have to go out there. I'm interviewing Schwarber for dugout discussions.
Oh, yeah. You might see Teddy and his friends at the game.
Yeah, I might see some people. We'll see. Anyway, the thing I'm looking forward to is Saturday because Roki Sasaki makes his start. And it was just 2 starts ago that he had his best appearance in the big leagues. Now, that was against the Angels. It was 7 innings. I think he gave up 1 run maybe that day. Now he's taking on a Philly lineup where the left-handers can kill you. Schwarber, Harper in particular, right? The right-handed hitters, even though some of them have been better as of late, have really struggled. We're talking about like kind of a low to mid 600s. Now, Trey Turner has homered in consecutive games. JT Realmuto seems possibly to be turning a corner. Alec Boehm starting to drive in a few more runs here and there. But if they are really going to get anywhere, right-handed hitting, and particularly in the outfield, Adolis Garcia he's been great with the glove. Nothing at the plate. Nothing. So I'm going to be curious to see how Roki handles. Is he going to pitch around the lefties to get to the righties? And then if you start putting guys on base, we know that if the right-handed hitters can unlock something, that could be a problem. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We'll see. The early game, Twins-Pirates, which means, although we're very thankful it's on Apple TV, my man doesn't get paid to be in Pittsburgh today. What the hell's up with that?
It's okay. I knew it coming into this series. I'll be at the yard. I'm gonna go do some things for Twins TV in that regard. But no, I'm not making any money today.
Damn it.
It's okay.
You're going to miss Jared Jones's return from Tommy John surgery. Missed all of 2025. How pumped up should Pittsburgh fans be about the possibilities of dreaming big with a starting rotation?
I mean, their starting rotation has already been really good. The guy they're moving to the bullpen, Majinski, like he's been fantastic, coming off a nice start in the last series as well. He's not too happy about it, but good teams have starting pitching depth. So you should be excited. Jared Jones, I mean, don't forget how good he has been. I'm curious to see how long that sticks. Like what if Bubba Chandler is an option to go in the pen for them, or does he need some more seasoning at AAA? Because he's had some rough starts. The command really isn't there for him. The stuff is obviously, but the command hasn't been. But bringing a guy like Jared Jones into that already like pretty dominant starting pitching staff, there's no other way to really say it. They should be very excited.
Yeah, let's remember that during his rookie year, his four-seamer averaged almost 98 miles an hour. He did say that, this is a quote from him, I felt like my downtime, I really got to learn how I can throw my other pitches, make them a lot better. I feel like that kind of showed throughout rehab, really just getting a better feel of what I've got. So even though he might be a bit rusty, and we've talked about how difficult that can be unless your name is Garrett Cole in returning from Tommy John, that it's going to take him a little while. I do want to get back to Carmen Majinski for just a sec, because a lot of people don't even know who he is. He's been with the Pirates. He's been in the show since 2023. Early, a lot of appearances out of the bullpen. Last year, he did get a chance to start about half the season. This year, 9 of his 11 appearances came as a starter. He has pitched fairly well and certainly better than Bubba Chandler. Here's Majinski after last night's loss to the Cubs.
Still communicating with the organization, and the people in my corner, whether that's my family and my agency, about what's next, and I really don't have any comments after that.
Can you speak at all to the challenges that might come with going back into that
Um,
role?
Honestly, not right now, no.
Okay.
There were a lot of people from Pittsburgh and social media grilling the kid, saying, come on, dude. You're Majinski. Yes, you've pitched well, but put the team first. What did you think of his reaction?
Well, I mean, this is something that he's done. I mean, he's started games. He's been in the bullpen. He's kind of gone back and forth. I just look. I think people need to understand that like he is in this very finite window where he's trying to capitalize on being in the big leagues and earning maximizing his earning potential, and that's being a starter. He's going to enter arbitration after this year. And the more starts you have, the more you're going to make. And if you feel, and so there's that aspect of it, but there's also like, uh, if you feel like you've earned something, you want to be able to keep it. So maybe he feels that way. I understand the sentiment. You want your players to always be like, "Yeah, I'll do whatever's best for the team." Sometimes you're going to get this where a guy's down, and maybe he's got a point. I don't know.
Would he have been better off lying?
Yeah, here's my thing. It's like you just like tell the media that what they want to hear, then work with what you have behind closed doors. Like there's plenty of time to go talk to the GM, talk to your manager, talk to your agent, all these things. You could do that, and then to the media say, yeah, like look, number one, I just want to do what's best for the team. So whatever that role is, it's great. And then you go afterwards and say, hey, guess what I just told the media? I don't really mean that. This is what I mean. I think that's kind of how like a lot of guys do approach it, and probably it's for the best for everybody.
Yeah,
As bad as
I
that
mean,
sounds, I actually sounds bad saying that out loud, but like you know what
it's
I'm
true.
saying, right?
It's true. I dig it when guys do tell the truth because I think transparency is a wonderful way to live. I think it's very refreshing. But when it comes to his career, the minute he mentioned his agent, I think that was the buzzword, right? Because fans don't like being reminded, as we just talked about with the first topic with labor negotiations, that it is truly a business. We want to believe that you care at least as much as we do about the games instead of just making the money and everything else that comes along with baseball. Now, you and I have talked, and you have been very honest that, hey, for virtually every big leaguer or every pro athlete, the number one thing is to figure out a way to get paid and to take care of your family. And I'm sorry, if fans can't understand that, then I can't help you. But you also don't want to hear the business side
Yeah.
when it comes to a baseball move, even though they are intertwined.
Well, you don't want it to seem like the real world. People use sport as an escape. So,
Yes.
like, if you thought about it as the real world, like, okay, your job, are you going to take a pay cut so your company can do better? Like, no, of course you're not. But you're like, oh, that's not the same thing. Well, it is. It's these guys' job. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And like you can talk about the disparity in money, but what about the minor leagues when you're making absolutely nothing? There's nothing guaranteed about this. This is like you're laying it all on the line for this very small finite window, and you want to be able to capitalize on it, especially if you feel like you've earned it. So yeah, I mean, like I get it. Like we're supposed to provide relief from the real world, and then when the real world kind of blends these two things together, it doesn't come off great.
I don't have in front of me which agency represents Carmen
He
Mlodzinski.
is on his baseball reference page, doesn't say.
Yeah, it does not.
Usually they have it.
All right, so if I had been his agent, here's what I would have said. The minute this came down, and obviously it came, Don Kelly and I don't know who else in the organization talked to him that he was going to be a bulk guy now moving forward instead of a starter. I would have told him, listen, be pissed right now. Talk to me. If you need to get it out, if you want to MF the organization, fine. Get it out now. When those cameras come around and find you, because they are going to find you, here's what you tell them. Hey, listen, I feel like I've pitched well enough to be in the starting rotation, but it's not going to happen. And if, for whatever reason, if I get another opportunity, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this job to the best of my ability. It's going to take you 3 minutes to bite your lip and then move on. And then you know what you do? You go back into Don Kelly's office or Ben Sherrington's office or whomever you want to sit down, and you scream at the top of your lungs, this is effed up. Bubba Chandler, and you know this, Bubba Chandler has not pitched nearly as well as I have. And if you're talking about helping the team, I can help the team every 5 days more. Now, there are going to be Pittsburgh fans that are going to say, listen, this dude can't get through the order 3 times. So he's probably better suited for a bulk role than to be a starter. I get that. You guys watch him much more closely than I do. And that is probably part of the equation here as well. But that's how I would have told him to handle it. Instead, we're talking about it. We've never mentioned his name once on this show, I think, except other in passing. And now we've spent 4 minutes on him because he had a sour look on his face. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that for business, that's how I would have told him to handle it.
Okay.
Anyway, you could see if Carmen Majinski is going to come out of the bullpen tonight
Yeah,
against
check it out.
Plouffe's Minnesota Twins. It's Friday night, doubleheader action, Apple TV, Twins Pirates, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, then Phillies Dodgers, 10 p.m. Eastern. In fact, get a 1-month free trial of Apple TV to watch Friday Night Baseball every week. All you have to do is visit apple.co/MLB offer to redeem in the United States and in Canada. You got to do it by July 5th. All right. Good news for the Texas Rangers. They did not give up a 6th homer to Yordan Alvarez in their series loss against the Houston Astros. The bad news is they had trouble getting the ball over their fence as well.
It's this ball deep to right field. Cam Smith going back to the wall, and he will jump up. Does he make the catch? No, it's just over his glove. No, he got it. He got it. Cam just robbed him of a home run. He dinked me initially. I did not think he brought that back, but he did. Cam Smith, the best right fielder defensively in 2026, saves a run.
That's a pretty good catch. And that one's one of the better ones we've seen this year.
Yeah, he went up and got that one. Full extension. Perfect timing right
Ooh.
there. I don't think he
great.
really tried to deke anybody the way like Julio always tries to deke people.
Oh, Julio makes it personal, man.
He always does that, man.
Yeah.
That was great, though. Good job, Cam.
Yeah. It's been a struggle for him at the plate, so it's good to see him contributing defensively. All right, Houston, check out the standings. 2.5 back of AL West leading Seattle. Do you believe in the Astros?
If they can get starting pitching like they did this series, which hasn't really happened for them. I mean, Mike Burrow's probably had his best start of the season in this series. Obviously the no-hitter that we talked about and Amai, you kind of know how I feel about him. I think he's got the stuff. He had some interesting quotes around that, talking about how he's not really settled in. Every time he goes to a park, it's the first time throwing on a mound. All right, dude, like nobody wants to hear that either. Like go pitch well. Like you have the stuff. Like figure out some command and go. Arrigetti's been great. So yeah, I mean, look, the offense has, I guess, if you want to call it, kept them in this thing. Also, the rest of the league just kind of being poo-poo has kept them in this thing. We know they can hit. If they can get this starting pitching, then I mean, no, I don't really believe in them, Chris. I'm trying to get in there. I'm trying to get there. But I think like over the course of this season, I think we'll see this pitching staff exposed too much.
All right, so the good news for the Astros, Jeremy Pena's back. He hit a homer in this series. Itzhak Paredes hit one. Altuve is getting closer, but I don't know what type of player Jose Altuve is anymore at this point in his career. Plus, you've got the guy who's had the best season so far in the American League at the plate, Yordan Alvarez, and it's not close. And Christian Walker has played exceptionally well. The pitching has gotten better this month. There was an ERA well over 6 through March and April. It's under 4 this month. Spencer Arrighetti, I mean, he pitched great last night. 7 more solid innings. He is putting together an all-star type resume. Yes. All of that is very good. With that being said, just refer back to yesterday's show with what I said about the Seattle Mariners. I think somehow they have just continued to stub their toe with injuries and poor play for the most part throughout their offense. And even though they're sub 500, they are leading the division. And I think that at the end of the day, they're going to run away. And so I don't think Houston, I don't think anybody else will catch them. I think they'll win the division by 6 or 7 games. And I don't believe that the Astros will win a wild card either.
I think I mean, like they've had a good offense all season long.
Yes,
That
they
that,
have.
that
It
has
kept them in. Yes.
that has not
Yeah.
been the problem. And again, yeah, I would love to see Spencer Urgetti in the All-Star game right now. 7. What is he? Is it?
7-1.
He's
And
7-1. Okay, he has 7 wins. He's got a sub 1.5. Like
Yeah.
he's allowed fewer than 30 hits. Like this guy's a stud.
Yeah. Not that wins mean anything, but yeah, I mean, it looks great. It's awesome. Today's episode, Baseball Today, it's sponsored by Amazon. When life throws you a curveball, Amazon's everyday low prices on essentials helps you save the everyday. Amazon has everything you need whenever you need it. Talking from planned purchases to those unexpected moments, they got everything in one place, and it saves you time and money so you can focus on what matters most. And for the two of us, that means having as much time as we need in order to prepare for shows like Baseball Today or Dugout Discussions or Talking Baseball or Plouffe doing the Twins games on TV. And for you, it's just catching as much baseball action as possible. So from tech to clothing to daily needs or anything else you need to prepare for the start of the baseball season, Amazon has everything you need all in one convenient place and can deliver to you anytime and anywhere. So whether it's routine shopping or handling life's curveballs, shop Amazon and save on essentials. Save the every day. Do you know what today is, Plouffe? The date?
May 29th.
That is May 29th. That's almost like a national holiday for us here at Baseball Today. Because if you remember, I started a tradition 2 years ago on this program where I made a statement about one team. The exact opposite ended up happening. And so I took it upon myself to say, every year I'm going to say something that I think could happen. It could be kind of wild. And let's see how I do. So we're going to roll a clip that has the last 2 years with my predictions. Here we go. It's Wednesday, May 29th, 2024 at 12:02 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to call it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to call it. Season's dead.
Pretty early, Chris.
The season is over for the New York Mets. I don't think anybody's going to chase down the Tigers, and I don't think anybody's coming close to the New York Yankees. In fact, I think the Yankees win the division by double digits. How'd I do?
0 for 2.
Over 2.
0 for 3.
0 for 3, actually. If you
0 for
count
3.
the Tigers and the Yankees last year, who both finished second in their respective divisions, and the Tigers got chased down from a 15.5 game lead at one point. Woo! So with that being said, do I dip my toe back in the water this year?
I got one. You got one?
Oh, hell yeah. I want you part of this. Let's go.
Oh, okay. This is going to actually, I mean, sacrilegious a little bit, and you're going to hate it, and my fans are going to hate it. I think the Chicago White Sox are going to win the AL Central.
Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about.
I do, dude. Look, maybe some recency bias here. I just saw them play a really nice series against my Twins where they probably should have swept them in a 4-game set. But it's the pitching for me. You know, we talk a lot about Murakami and Colson Montgomery and Miguel Vargas, and they're great. And I think they haven't, like, the bottom half of their lineup has enough like speed and defense, and they platoon all these things. But the pitching to me is what's different. Anthony Kay, we talked about, moved over to the left side of the mound. He's been fantastic. To me, he's like a very good, like 3-4 starter. Like I think that's what his adjustment is legit. Definitely a guy that's like gonna give you a chance to win. And then you got Davis Martin, who is fantastic. I saw him pitch yesterday. I think this other kid's better than him. I think David Sandlin is going to be the best of the group going forward. He was phenomenal. The demeanor, the stuff, everything. I think they're going to have to I think they're going to have to work at the deadline to get some bullpen help. They got some guys back there, but that's what I would continue to try to shore up for them. But the way they play, like, I think defensively they play well. They can run the bases. There's just something brewing there, man. I think that they have like a real shot at winning the AL Central.
Wow. That is a big one. I like where your head's at. For me, it's individual. It is not team-based. My prediction is that Mason Miller gets traded for the second straight year. And he is going coast to coast and will try and bolster the bullpen of the New York Yankees in a major, major deal where Lombard is going to be the centerpiece going back to San Diego. They're going to need more offensive help that is major league ready. Jason Dominguez, I know he's banged up right now. I really believe that he could swing the bat. Now, I think he's also a DH, but I do think that he can swing the bat. Spencer Jones has already made his major league debut. Didn't have enough time to know whether or not he can be any good at this level. I think that Warren is going to be part of that deal as well. And I do think that an established major league bullpen arm like a Dotel will have to go back in order to take some of the innings, even if a guy like Morejon or Estrada ends up closing in San Diego. And I know people say, hold on, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that. Well, San Diego this team, this iteration of the San Diego Padres will not win the World Series. So the worst thing you can do is have the best closer in the business on a team that cannot win the World Series. So I don't care how A.J. Preller, how he shops in New York's baseball player market. Go figure out a way to make your team better than the way it is right now. And I know that the Yankees feel like they are a legit, bona fide closer away from winning this thing.
It's a big one, Chris. I mean, I don't hate the idea of it, and it's not like super far-fetched knowing like who's running his team. So like, there's that aspect of it. Okay, I don't love that you're sending him to. I don't love that you're sending him to the Yankees, but
I think it makes the most sense, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Out of all the teams that are contending, I really believe that the Yankees have what A.J. Preller would want in return, and they have a need. David Bednar has been really good at times, but he's also been shaky. Mason Miller is not shaky.
No.
He is great. He is elite, and he can be a series changer. So,
can't they just go get Aroldis Chapman for way cheaper, though?
Probably.
He's going to be on. He's 100% going to be on the move.
Let's also remember how that relationship ended.
Yeah.
Not great. Give us your favorite May 29th prediction, please. So let's go for it. Make it bold. It could be individual based. It could be team based. Hell yes. This is some fun stuff. I love May 29th. We're going to have to do a show next year on Saturday just to make May 29th annual ritual around it. And a quick reminder, this episode is sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're on the go or at the ballpark, T-Mobile is built to keep you connected wherever the game takes you. With America's best network, you know your phone is going to work even in a crowded stadium. Anybody who's been to a big game, you know the drill. Your team hits a walk-off, everybody's trying to text or post, send videos at exactly the same time, and suddenly your phone will not load anything. Or you're trying to stream the game while traveling and the feed keeps buffering at the worst possible moment. Drives me nuts. Well, those are the moments that matter to real baseball fans, and a drop signal shouldn't be the reason you miss any of them. T-Mobile's network, it is built specifically to handle all of them. I'm talking packed stadiums. I'm talking big moments. No problem. Find out how baseball hits different with T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Fastest base on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data of national speed score results for 2H 2025. Best based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. Everybody have a wonderful baseball weekend. We will be back at it again on Monday when Plouffe has arrived safely back to hug his beautiful family and will be in a chipper mood. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. Have a wonderful sporting weekend. Thanks for tuning in to Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.